So what are we here today for? Well, today is an unusual video for the channel. For today I'm going to review a product. And this isn't a Viking product like a knife or a axe. This is indeed a chainsaw. And this is the Black & Decker chainsaw I've bought recently. And I must say, it is a nice bit of kit. A warm welcome to the channel, Northworthy Sagas and Stories.
We will be dealing with sagas, stories and poetry, telling myths, tales of the gods and goddesses, and the cosmic forces that they dealt with. We will be telling legends of mighty mortal heroes from famous dynasties and all of their adventures.
So if you're like me and you have in your house a log burner, you'll need logs to get your fire going and kindling. And so if you don't want to be using a handsaw, I recommend a good chainsaw. Now this chainsaw I bought about 3 weeks ago from eBay, and this is a reconditioned chainsaw by Black & Decker. I'm going to clean it up as I work and talk about the chainsaw itself, because it does need a tidy up, because I did give it a good use yesterday. And then we're going to review the chainsaw, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. Now this chainsaw, I've got some notes here, is the Black & Decker. It's the 36 volt 2.AH lithium cordless chainsaw with a 30 centimetre or 12-inch blade. And the model, if you're interested, is the GKC 3630 L20QGB. And has 18 volt power. Now they say on the website that in the charge of the battery, this will cut 560 times at 3.5 centimetres in thickness. And I must say, I've used it for quite a while, and you get 2 to 3 hours worth of chainsawing time, which is great for those small jobs. And it's also quite light, so if you're climbing up a tree, it's quite easy to manage. As you can see, mine needs a clean, which is a bit oily, and I've been using it quite a bit. And you must try to maintain and clean your chainsaw best as possible. I do recommend that. And I will probably put a little bit of video of me using the chainsaw in this video. And if you are going to use a chainsaw, don't do what I do. Do wear a helmet with a full face guard and gloves. And if you can afford some chainsaw trousers and a jacket, I do recommend them as well. I just don't have the money to go and spend on such luxuries. But yeah, I need to think about preparing wood for this winter. Now I couldn't really tell you how heavy it is, but I have a good average build, so I find it quite easy to use, and I'm fairly certain that my girlfriend could also use this as well. You do have to put oil in, so I recommend going out and buying a 5 or 10 litre chainsaw oil. It will save you money in the long run. And then I decanter it into a smaller bottle so that when I fill it, and it's not going to go everywhere. And you do have a liquid filter, which is very nice as well, just to stop getting any bits in your chainsaw. And it's very important that you have chainsaw oil, because you need to keep the blade lubricated. This is a new blade. Now it was reconditioned, like I said, so it was £137 this, and it should have been about 280. And when I bought it, when I got it, it didn't come in a box like you should get. It just came in a standard cardboard box. But I could tell it's never been used. So somebody probably bought this, not like the look of it, and sent it back, and then it has to go for a cheaper price on eBay. Yeah, so overall I really do love this chainsaw. I've used quite a few chainsaws in my time, but I've never ever bought a battery powered chainsaw. I was a little bit dubious. I think a lot of people are. It's a bit like the old debate about electric cars, which is a massive fail these days because they're so expensive. Who can afford one unless you win the lottery? So I was very dubious about having a battery powered chainsaw. Now it's Black & Decker, so it's a good make. It's an American company, and they was founded amazingly in 1843. And American equipment and tools, excellent. And I've used Black & Decker before. I got Black & Decker angle grinders and various other tools I've had by Black & Decker. So that's also brilliant. So one tip, when you do tighten the blade, when you put it up, what you want is no more than really 3 or 4 of these popping up. If you get any more than that, your blade is too loose. And we'll look at that in a second, how you actually adjust the blade, because this does actually come with kind of a free tensioning system, so you don't have to go and use loads of spanners to tension it up. It's very easy to do. If you never had a chainsaw, you could use this. And of course, you go back 1,000 years ago, because as you can see, we are a Viking channel. What would you use to saw your wood up? Well, yes, you could have gone to the blacksmith and had him make you a saw. That would have been around and available. And I think it's amazing that they could make saws. Or you had the axe. Not the most efficient way of making logs. Now we're going to turn this about. We're going to undo this, and we're going to just clean the inside of this, because I was chopping down a big conifer yesterday on the front of my house. It's got too big, and a lot of it wants coming down to limit the growth, so I'm not getting too many roots under my driveway. Now simply the blade comes off very easily, as you can see. So let's just give that a wipe. Always make sure you got the blade on the right way. And at some point I'll have to sharpen the blade, but for the meantime it's doing okay. I mean, the thing about a chainsaw, it's going to get oily. You're going to get all your bits from your chainsaw and the dust and the sawdust and the bigger bits stuck in. So there's not a lot, you could do to just stop that really. You just got to try to maintain it and clean it the best you can. And I will probably be going out today and chainsawing some more logs, because I've got a load on my lawn, and some of them I'll be using to make things, and some of them will be being put aside for my fire, because you have to plan ahead by at least a good 12 months. I'm not going to really do this year. I'm going to have probably 9 months of drying time before I get to midwinter. So we're just going to wipe the blade down. I do hope you're enjoying this video and you're finding it quite useful. Now, I have actually filmed some ASMR videos on me using the chainsaw, which you can check out on the channel. And they are quite interesting, and I hope you do like that. And I will, like I said, include a little bit of video of me using the chainsaw. So we're putting the chainsaw back on. So just bear with me. So make sure you get it the right way around and don't drop it like I've just done. Butterfingers. I'm not the best chainsaw in the world. I got a petrol one and another cordless one. Not a cord, one with a cord, but I lent that to my neighbours because they don't have a good chainsaw at the moment, and so that's how you put the blade back on. It's so easy, it really is. It's just a matter, you hold the blade tight and you screw this back down, being careful, because it's all plastic construction. So I do worry how long this would last. Whether it will last 20 or 30 years. I expect within 10 years you'll probably wear some of the things away, and of course you don't have to drop it because plastic does break. So always be careful. Now the one thing, it doesn't come with the stop. On proper chainsaws this moves, so that if you use your chainsaw and you've got to quickly stop, you can just pull this forward and it will stop your chainsaw. So it doesn't have the emergency brake, but it's quite easy to operate just from the bottom lever and this, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. Now I'm just going to clear out the battery area because that got a little bit oily. I generally charge my battery. It takes about 2-3 hours to charge. So in theory, you could use it in the morning, run the battery down but don't run it down completely. Always leave a little bit of battery so you don't end up having an error in your battery and it won't charge. That can happen. So run it in the morning, do your jobs, put it on charge, then you got it back in the afternoon. In theory, you can probably do that 2 or 3 times a day. It does go through quite a bit of oil, which is not a bad thing because when you're using a chainsaw, you definitely want oil. Next, I will show you and demonstrate how the battery fits. So down here I have the battery unit, and this comes with a charger. I'm just going to clean this as well because it's got a little bit of oil on it. So take the battery out. This is the battery itself. It's not too heavy. And it comes with a nice charger with a good length of cable. I don't really need to unwind it myself. So, but I'm going to give it a wipe down. And then this is the lithium battery. And of course, if you've got other Black & Decker products, this will also fit your products. And one thing it does have, which is very nice, you can press that and it shows you how much battery you got. And I think that's a nice little feature. And like I said, don't run it down completely. Try to get to 1 bar and then put it back on charge. It will just save the battery power in the long run. And it's always good to try to maintain your kit as best as possible. So now we're going to put the battery back on. So it's just a matter of slide it in, and that's that fitted. And you can see I'm going to just run it for a second. There we go. So it doesn't sound like a traditional chainsaw petrol. I'm so used to that. And I've so as you can see, I've got a big garden, so I have sawn out a lot of branches. I've taken down which I don't need. Which, you know, I've been neglecting the garden because I didn't have a chainsaw, so it's given me lots of firewood for this year. And having a log stove and a firewood, I think, is very essential. Of course, I do burn coal as well. So, yes, what do you think? Is this the sort of chainsaw you would buy? I'd imagine also if you're into chainsaw wood carving, this would be quite ideal. It's not too bad. I mean, I don't know whether the Texas Chainsaw Massacre man would actually go around using it. And at the moment, I'm struggling with tennis elbow in this arm and a little bit in this arm as well. So I've not got the strength like I have. And I've got to either go to the doctor or just build up my strength again and try to sort out my tennis elbow. Yes. Like to make sure that's tight, don't over tighten it. And make sure your tension on your blade is correct. And then at some point I'll have to go and dig out my chainsaw file and sharpen these teeth, which is a whole entire subject. Yeah. If you're a gardener, then this would be ideal. Quite funny, I was talking to a guy I know down one of the pubs I go to, not very often but now and again, called Steve, and he's a gardener. And we've got talking about chainsaws, and he has petrol chainsaws, but he's very recently bought a battery powered one. And he said it's great when you're doing those small jobs. You don't want to get you know, because let's face it, if sometimes petrol chainsaws can take a bit to get started. So he said it's great. I can just grab it, I can climb up a tree, chop that branch down, put it back down again, and I got the job done. So he's very impressed with the battery powered chainsaw. He has, and I don't know if it's the same make. I never asked that, so I just clean it a little bit more, being careful not to turn it on. I mean, it'll go through this table very easily. Not that I'm going to do that because I like my Viking table. So I hope this has been entertaining, and I hope this has been useful. And this is one of those impromptu videos. I've written myself a little script of what I wanted to say and talk about, and I hope I've got all that aspect covered. It does come with a cover, but I left that outside, unfortunately. But when you do put your chainsaw away, put your cover on, leave it in a safe place, and you're laughing. And just make sure, also, when you store it, I'd also recommend don't leave your battery in, because that will drain the battery over time. And I'm going out in the garden today to use it. let's talk about the charger. So when you put it on charge, let's just demonstrate how that fits. You basically just slot it in. That's as simple as that, and it just flashes green, and when it's charged it goes solid green. So also that's great. And if you've got more Black & Decker tools and this battery fits them, then you've got another spare battery. So overall I think I'll probably give this probably an 8 out of 10. I'd like to see it compared to other makes, maybe even a 9. And if you do fancy buying a chainsaw, well, go and buy this one. Yes. That's the kind of noise the impression of a chainsaw. Goodbye. Now don't forget, folks, if you're new to the channel, go and give us a like and a subscribe. And thank you for watching this video. The one thing we really need at the moment is watch time on our long format videos, because we're not monetized and we're not a YouTube partner. And running a YouTube channel is not cheap. And I could be, if I'm making money, I would be putting that money back in the channel. So I do need to get to the stage where I'm starting to make money again on the channel, so that I can invest in vidIQ boost and make better thumbnails. And let's face it, if you've got to buy a new camera, you're talking £1,000 for just a good average camera. So equipment's not easy and cheap to buy. So it all helps. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Way.
Welcome to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. Please watch our videos and feel free to leave a comment. Please subscribe and also click on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.